everybody. In this video, we're going to learn about how to figure out how much money you have paid into a savings annuity. So take a deep breath and let's make this math easy. Okay, so in this problem, it says if we deposit $500 every month for 12 years into an account that earns 6% interest compounded monthly, and notice that the compounding period is matching the deposit period, how much money do we invest altogether? So it looks like we know the deposit, we know the time, we know the interest rate, and we also know what K is. And so with our formula, we could figure out A, which is the amount of money we end up with in the account at the end. However, in this problem, they weren't asking for that. What they wanted is how much money do we invest altogether, meaning how much money do we put into the savings account? Because A is going to be the amount of money we put into the savings account and all the interest that was earned as well. And so we actually don't have to even use the formula in order to answer the question they were asking, because the amount of money that we invest, so maybe I'll call this our investing number, this is going to equal 500 times the number of deposits that we made. Well, if I'm depositing money every month for 12 years, then that's 144 months that I'm investing $500 per month. And you can calculate that by doing 12 times 12. The first 12 comes from the fact that I'm investing every month. The second 12 comes from the fact that I did it for 12 years. And when I multiply those numbers together, I end up with 72,000. And so that is the amount of money that I invested altogether. Now, the amount of money I end up with is going to be more than this because this is just how much money I put in the account, but that money has also been earning interest all along the way. But this would be the answer to the question they asked. As another example, let's say we want to have $1 million saved for retirement in 30 years, and the account earns 3% interest. And if we deposit enough to meet our goal, the question asks, how much money would you end up paying into the account altogether? So in this problem, we don't know what the deposit is. And since we don't know the deposit, we're going to have to figure that out first before we can answer the question that they gave us. So to figure that out, I would say, well, I know that $1 million is A. So I put that into my formula. This is going to equal D times 1 plus 0.03 divided by 12, because I'm compounding it monthly, raised to an exponent of 30 times 12, because I'm doing it every month for 30 years, minus 1, all divided by 0.03 divided by 12. So to calculate this out, I'm going to simplify the right-hand side of the equation first. So I know that 30 times 12 is 360, and when I do 0.03 divided by 12, that gives me 0.0025. So those are kind of my mini pre-calculations. And now I'll go into doing order of operations. So I'm going to start at my innermost parentheses, and I've already divided 0.03 by 12. So I'm going to add 1 to that decimal. Then I'm going to raise that decimal to an exponent of 360. And then I'm going to subtract 1. And then I'm going to divide by this decimal that I calculated earlier, the 0.0025. And when I do all of that, I end up with 1 million equals D times this 582.73688845, etc., that decimal. So to figure out what my deposit is, I need to divide both sides by this 582 number. So I'm going to click my reciprocal button and then multiply that by 1 million. And that ends up telling me that my deposit is going to be $1,716.04. And so this is my deposit, but it's not the question they asked, because they asked how much money will we end up paying into the account altogether. So to figure out how much I invest into the account, I'm going to take my deposit of $1,716.04 and multiply that by the number of months that I invested that. So I invested it for 30 years, and each year has 12 months. So I'm going to multiply all those numbers together. And when I multiply by 30, multiply by 12, I end up with the number $617,774.52. And so this is the amount of money that I end up paying into the account. Now, at the end of these 30 years, I'm going to have $1 million in the account, and that additional money is coming from the interest that was earned on the money that I invested. So why don't you guys go ahead and try this problem on your own, and then restart the video to see what the correct answer is. Okay, so on this one, they gave you the interest rate, and they told you how much you wanted to have at the end of the 40 years, but they didn't tell you what your deposit was. And to be able to figure out how much money we invested altogether, then you need to know what the deposit is. So you would use the savings annuities formula, and when you go through it and you simplify all of this complicated stuff on the right, you should end up with this number times D equals the 650,000. Then when you divide both sides by that number, you'll get that your deposit equals $373.34. So to figure out how much money we invested, we would basically take that deposit and we would multiply by the number of months that we deposited that amount. So I'd take $373.34 and multiply by 40 years times 12 months. And when I multiply those together, I end up with $179,203.28. And so the amount of money that we invested was that number there. So I hope that was helpful, and I hope that you guys have a good day.